The wedding reception froze as my cousin Brittany screamed that I ruined everything. Guests turned in their seats. The music stopped mid-note. She pointed at me with a trembling finger, her white dress swirling. He sabotaged the ceremony. He destroyed my special day. Her voice cracked with theatrical fury. I stood near the dessert table, frozen with a glass of champagne halfway to my lips. My wife Claire stood beside me, but as Brittany's accusation echoed through the hall, Claire took a step away from me. Not toward me. Away. The humiliation was instant and total. 200 pairs of eyes locked onto me. My Aunt Diane rushed forward, adding fuel. I saw him harassing the staff. He interfered with everything. My heart pounded. This wasn't happening. I'd been nothing but helpful all day. I'd helped carry gifts, greeted guests, even fixed a sound issue when the microphone cut out during the vows. "What are you talking about?" I managed to say. But nobody was listening. The venue manager appeared, a slim woman in a black suit. "What exactly happened?" she asked. My Aunt Diane jumped in before I could speak. "He harassed my niece's wedding planner all morning. He kept interfering with the sound system. He embarrassed the bride in front of everyone." People around us nodded. Some looked shocked. Others looked at me like I was a stranger. "That's not true," I protested. "I helped fix the microphone when it cut out. The planner asked me to." "Asked you?" Brittany's voice rose to a shriek. "You pushed your way in. You made everything about you." I looked at Claire, desperately hoping she'd defend me. She'd been there. She'd seen me helping. But she just stared at the floor, arms crossed. "Ask anyone," Brittany continued. "There are witnesses. People saw him." The venue manager's expression remained neutral. "Let me speak with my staff to understand what happened." But the damage was spreading. I could feel it, the whispers, the stares, the silent judgment forming like a wall around me. "We need to handle this discreetly," the venue manager said. "Sir, would you mind stepping outside with me? Just to avoid causing more of a scene." The phrase hit me like a slap. More of a scene? As if I'd caused the first one. But what could I do? I nodded numbly. 2 security guards appeared. They didn't touch me, but they flanked me as I walked toward the exit. The crowd parted silently. I felt like a criminal being led away. Claire watched me go. Our eyes met briefly and I saw nothing. No support. No protest. "This is insane," I muttered. I didn't do anything wrong. We reached the hallway outside the reception hall. The venue manager followed us, tablet in hand. As I passed her, she leaned in slightly. "Sir, were you aware the venue records audio?" I stopped walking. "What?" The venue manager, whose name tag read Angela, kept her voice low. "All staff interactions are logged. We implemented the policy after a lawsuit last year." Hope flickered in my chest. "So you have recordings of what actually happened?" "We do." She glanced back. Though I'm not sure everyone realizes that. Before I could respond, my Aunt Diane burst through the doors, Brittany right behind her. "That won't be necessary," Diane said quickly, her face flushed. Her urgency seemed strange. Almost panicked. Angela noticed it too. "Why wouldn't you want to clear this up?" I asked Diane. Brittany's face had gone pale. "Recordings won't capture tone. They won't show how condescending he was." The room felt charged. Angela crossed her arms. "Actually, we've already reviewed part of the footage. Standard protocol when there's an incident." Angela's words hung in the air. Diane's expression shifted from righteous anger to something that looked like fear. "You've reviewed it already?" Brittany's voice cracked. "We always check immediately when there's a disturbance," Angela said evenly. "The audio doesn't match the accusations being made." She paused. "However, Ms. Beaumont mentioned that the real incident happened earlier, in a private hallway?" Brittany grabbed onto that. That's where it happened. Not out here where cameras could see." He cornered me in the hallway. "That hallway is mic too," Angela interrupted quietly. Silence. Complete, suffocating silence. Brittany's mouth opened and closed. Diane took a step back. I stared at them both, realization dawning. "You knew there weren't cameras there. That's why you said it happened in the hallway. You thought you could lie without proof. How dare you? Diane started, but her voice lacked conviction now. The reception hall doors opened again. Claire stepped out, looking uncertain. What's going on? She asked. The venue has recordings, I said, looking directly at Claire. Of everything that happened today. Angela says the audio doesn't match what Brittany's claiming. Claire's eyes widened. Recordings? Angela nodded. We record all public areas and staff interactions. It's posted at the entrance. I heard him arguing, Claire said, but her voice wavered. I heard shouting earlier. Diane jumped on it. See? Even his own wife heard him. But Angela shook her head. Ma'am, according to our logs, you weren't present during the incident being described. You were in the bridal suite with the bridesmaids. Claire froze. I thought I heard. She trailed off. You assumed, I said quietly. Brittany changed tactics. Okay, maybe he didn't technically harass anyone. But he stressed me out. He kept hovering, making suggestions. It was emotional sabotage. It was a clever pivot, moving from concrete accusations to subjective feelings. Angela seemed to recognize the shift. That's a different claim than what was made inside, Angela observed. Does it matter? Brittany shot back. He ruined my day. Whether it was intentional or just his obnoxious personality. Diane nodded vigorously. Exactly. The emotional impact is what matters. Angela held up a hand. Before this goes any further, would you like me to play the entire sequence? All of it from start to finish. She looked specifically at Diane when she asked it. Diane's face hardened. She crossed her arms. Go ahead. Play it. But I saw her hand tremble slightly. We moved to a small office. Angela pulled up the security system on a large monitor. Brittany and Diane came in, along with Claire. The groom, Kyle, slipped in too, looking confused. This is from earlier today, Angela said. Starting at 2 p.m. She hit play. At first, it was mundane background noise. Then voices became clearer. Thinks he's so helpful, a female voice said with a nasty laugh. I recognized it, Brittany. On the recording, she continued, My cousin Alex? He's so old and useless. If anything goes wrong today, I'm blaming him. The wedding planner responded nervously, That seems harsh. Trust me, Brittany said. He's the perfect scapegoat. He always takes it. He never fights back. The room went dead silent. Diane's face drained of color. Kyle stared at his bride with his mouth open. Claire's hand flew to cover her mouth. Angela paused the recording. There's more. Angela clicked to another file. This is from about an hour later. Brittany, Diane, and the wedding planner's voices filled the room. The mic cut out during rehearsal yesterday, the planner said. I'm worried about. If it happens during the ceremony, we'll say Alex messed with it, Brittany interrupted. He's always fiddling with tech stuff. People will believe it. Diane's voice. Perfect. That'll work. The planner sounded uncomfortable. But what if he didn't actually? Does it matter? Brittany laughed. He'll take the blame. He always does. He never wants to cause family drama. I felt something inside me shut off completely. Not anger. Not hurt. Just nothing. A cold, empty clarity. Kyle stood abruptly. What the hell, Brittany? She turned to him, tears suddenly streaming. Baby, you don't understand. I was just stressed. You planned this, he said flatly. You planned to blame your cousin no matter what happened. Diane tried to intervene. Kyle, sweetheart, wedding stress makes people say things they don't mean. Turn it off, Brittany begged Angela. Please, just turn it off. But Angela shook her head. I'm sorry, but this pertains to a false accusation made in our venue. We need to document everything. She clicked to the next file. This is from just before the ceremony. Brittany and Diane's voices, conspiring in what they thought was private. If anything goes wrong, remember, Alex is the target, Diane said. Got it, Brittany replied. And Claire? She won't defend him, Diane said with certainty. I've seen how she is at family events. She's embarrassed by him. My eyes slid to Claire. She had gone completely white, tears streaming. But I felt nothing. The woman on that recording had read my wife perfectly. "Mom, please," Kyle said to Diane. "Please tell me you weren't part of this." Diane said nothing. Angela closed the audio player. "There's one more file. Would you like me to continue?" "No," Brittany whispered. "Yes," Kyle said firmly. Angela clicked play. The wedding planner's voice came through, speaking to someone else. "I need to file a complaint. I skipped the final equipment check to save time, and now the bride is telling me to blame it on her cousin if anything goes wrong. This isn't okay." A male voice responded, "Did you document that request?" "I'm documenting it now," the planner said. "The bride specifically told me to lie and say her cousin, Alex, I think, interfered with the sound system. She said he'd take the blame without fighting back." Kyle stood and walked to the door. He stopped with his hand on the handle. "The ceremony happened 2 hours ago," he said quietly. "We're legally married. But this..." He turned to look at Brittany. "This isn't who I thought I was marrying." Brittany lunged forward, grabbing Kyle's arm. "Baby, please. I was just scared." "You planned to destroy your cousin's reputation," Kyle said, pulling free. "You planned it with your aunt. And when everything actually went fine, you accused him anyway." "I panicked." Brittany sobbed. "So you chose family," Kyle said. "Someone who's been nothing but supportive. Someone who actually helped when the microphone cut out." Angela cleared her throat. "About the wedding planner, she submitted a formal incident report an hour ago. She's refusing to work the rest of the reception and requesting contract termination. She cites being asked to participate in fraud." Diane's face went from pale to purple. "That's absurd." "She has emails," Angela said calmly. "Time-stamped emails showing she raised concerns about the rush timeline." The office felt too small. Brittany sank into a chair, mascara streaking. Diane stood rigid, arms crossed. Claire looked like she wanted to disappear. Kyle broke the silence. "I need air." He looked at me. "I'm sorry, Alex. I should have questioned this from the start." I nodded. He left. Diane immediately turned on me. "Are you happy now? You've destroyed your cousin's wedding." The audacity stunned me. "I destroyed it? Yes. If you had just taken the blame quietly like you always do, none of this would have happened." "I didn't know about the recordings," I said quietly. "I just asked to see them because I was innocent." "You're not innocent of being difficult, of being awkward, of always being the odd one out at family events." Something in her words struck a chord. "That's why you chose me. Not because I did anything wrong, but because you've always thought I was dispensable." Diane's silence confirmed it. Brittany looked up with red, swollen eyes. For just a moment, I saw something that might have been regret. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "No, you're not," I said. "You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference." Angela stood. "I need to inform you that we'll be filing a formal written statement about this incident. For our legal protection." "What does that mean?" Diane asked sharply. "It means we document everything. The false accusation, the premeditated planning captured on audio, the wedding planner's complaint. All of it goes in our records." Angela looked at me. "Would you like a copy of that statement, Mr. Winters?" I could say no. Walk away. Let it fade into awkward family history. But then I remembered Diane's words. He never fights back. "Yes," I said. "I would like a copy." Diane's eyes widened. "You wouldn't dare." "I absolutely would," I said calmly. "Because this ends now." I walked back into the reception hall. The party had continued, but word had clearly spread. Conversations stopped when I entered. I found my seat. Claire was already there, looking small and miserable. She'd been crying. "Alex," she started. Not here," I said quietly. "Not now." We sat in silence as the reception continued around us. Nobody approached our table. An hour later, the music stopped for toasts. Brittany's maid of honor gave a rambling speech. Diane started to stand for the mother of the groom toast, but Kyle shook his head sharply. She sat back down. Then Kyle stood. He looked around the room, champagne glass in hand but not raised. "I want to thank everyone for coming," he said. His voice was steady but cold. "This has been an educational day. I've learned a lot about honesty, family, and the importance of actually knowing the person you marry." Brittany's face crumpled. Kyle raised his glass slightly. "To truth," he said. Nobody toasted with him. He drank alone. The reception ended early. By 9 p.m., guests were leaving, whispering, casting glances at our table. Some people stopped by. My uncle squeezed my shoulder. "I'm sorry I didn't speak up. I should have." A few of Brittany's friends shot me dirty looks. I heard one mutter, "He couldn't just let her have her day." Claire and I left separately. She rode with her sister. I drove alone. At home, I sat in my car in the driveway for 20 minutes. Inside, Claire would be waiting, probably rehearsing some explanation. I didn't want to hear it. Not yet. Finally, I went in. Claire was in the living room, still in her dress. "I'm sorry," she said immediately. "I should have defended you." "You believed them," I said. Instantly. Without question. She flinched. I was confused. Diane sounded so certain. "And I'm your husband," I said quietly. "Doesn't that count for something?" Silence. We talked for hours that night. Claire kept apologizing, explaining how she'd been caught up in the moment, how family pressure had influenced her. "But you didn't defend me," I kept coming back to that. "When they were dragging me out, you just watched." I didn't know what to do. Everyone was staring and I just froze. "You stepped away from me," I said. "When Brittany first accused me, you literally stepped away." She couldn't deny it. "I'm sorry. I'll spend forever making this up to you." But I wasn't sure she could. Something had broken. The recording of Diane saying she won't defend him kept playing in my head. "I need space," I said finally. "I need to think." "Don't leave," Claire begged. I didn't answer. I just went upstairs, got a pillow and blanket, and sat up on the couch. The next morning, I woke to dozens of messages. Family group chats were exploding. Diane had sent out a mass text blaming me for ruining Brittany's wedding with false accusations. The text claimed I'd manipulated the venue recording somehow, that I'd bullied the wedding planner. My uncle screenshot the messages, document everything. I did. I saved every text, every email. Diane left 3 voicemails accusing me of destroying the family. Brittany sent one text, "I hope you're happy." I didn't respond. Angela from the venue emailed me the formal incident report. It was 12 pages long. Time-stamped. Damning. I saved it to 3 different drives. Claire watched from the kitchen doorway. "What are you going to do with all that?" "I don't know yet." "You're not going to share it, are you? If you put that out there, it'll destroy Brittany." "She tried to destroy me," I said. "I know, but..." Claire trailed off. "But what?" She had no answer. 3 weeks passed. The family fractured. Some people apologized. Others doubled down, insisting I'd overreacted. Brittany and Kyle's marriage was falling apart. He'd moved out. Divorce papers were being drafted. Diane blamed me for all of it. She started a whisper campaign. I'd always been jealous of Brittany. I'd sabotaged her wedding out of spite. I stayed quiet. Let them talk. Then my cousin Amber, Brittany's younger sister, called me. I heard the recordings. I hadn't shared them. How? Kyle played them for the family at a dinner last night. Everyone heard. Brittany, Diane, the planning, all of it. My chest tightened. And? Diane tried to leave. Dad blocked the door and made her listen to the whole thing. Amber's voice shook. It was awful. Good, I said. Then immediately felt guilty. Some people are saying you should forgive them. Move on, be the bigger person. What do you think? Long pause. I think they would have destroyed you without a second thought. And I think you deserve better. A month after the wedding, I got a call from Brittany. Alex? Can we talk? About what? I want to apologize. Really apologize. Not because I got caught, but because I finally understand what I did. I didn't respond. She continued anyway. Kyle played the recordings for his family. Then mine. Everyone heard what I said about you. And they were disgusted. She sobbed. They were disgusted with me. So you're calling because you're facing consequences? I said flatly. I'm calling because I was wrong. Because I hurt you and I'm sorry. You said I was old and useless. You called me a scapegoat. You planned to destroy my reputation before I'd even done anything. I know, and I hate myself for it. My marriage is over. Half the family won't talk to me. I've lost everything. You destroyed it yourself, I said. I didn't make those recordings. You said those words. She hung up crying. I decided it was time to respond. Not with anger. Just with truth. I wrote a clear, calm statement detailing everything. I attached the venue's official incident report. I included timestamps, direct quotes, and the wedding planner's complaint. I sent it to the family group chat. All of them. The response was immediate. Some defended Brittany and Diane. Called me vindictive. But others, more than I expected, responded with support. My uncle, this needed to be said. Thank you, Amber, proud of you for standing up for yourself. Several cousins. We always suspected Diane played favorites. This explains a lot. The dividing lines became clear. Some people valued truth. Others valued keeping up appearances. Diane sent one response. You'll regret this. I replied publicly, I regret staying silent for so long. Then I muted the chat. Kyle reached out separately. I filed for divorce officially today. I'm sorry, I said. Surprised to find I meant it. Don't be. You did me a favor. Better to find out who I married before we had kids, right? What happens now? I move on. Build a life with someone honest. He paused. Brittany's been calling constantly, begging for another chance. Has she changed? How would I know? People don't change overnight. And even if she has, I can't trust her. I understood that completely. The same doubt had infected my marriage. What about you and Claire? 'Cause I don't know. We're in counseling. But I keep thinking about what Diane said on that recording, that Claire wouldn't defend me. And she was right. That's the hardest part, Kyle agreed. When the lies reveal uncomfortable truths. Months passed. The story became family legend, whispered about at gatherings I no longer attended. Brittany apologized publicly in the family chat. It was long, detailed, and seemed genuine. She acknowledged her cruelty, her manipulation. Some people forgave her. I wasn't one of them. Diane never apologized. Not once. She insisted I'd blown everything out of proportion. I cut contact with her completely. Blocked her number. She was dead to me. My relationship with Claire slowly improved. Counseling helped. She worked hard to rebuild trust. But the damage lingered. Sometimes I'd catch her hesitating before defending me. Old instincts dying hard. I wondered if we'd ever fully recover. Or if that moment at the wedding, her stepping away, would always be there, a crack in our foundation. Time would tell. 2 years later, I attended a family event. A birthday party for my uncle. I almost didn't go. But he'd supported me unconditionally, and I wanted to honor that. I walked in prepared for awkwardness. Got it immediately. Conversations paused. People stared. But something was different. The stares weren't judgmental. They were careful. Respectful even. Amber hugged me. Glad you came. You'll see, things have changed. She was right. People approached me cautiously, but kindly. They asked how I was doing. Really asked. Nobody mentioned the wedding. But it hung in the air, a shared understanding that I'd drawn a line. Diane was there. We made eye contact once. She looked away first. Brittany wasn't there. I heard she'd moved to another state. Started over somewhere people didn't know her story. I sat where I wanted. Ate what I wanted. Left when I wanted. Nobody tried to manage me or minimize me. I wasn't the family punching bag anymore. The wedding didn't break me. It exposed who thought I was disposable and proved I wasn't. Claire and I made it through. Barely. It took years of work, of her proving she'd stand with me. We're stronger now. Different, but stronger. I learned something important. Silence isn't peace. Taking it isn't strength. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is refuse to be kind to people who've shown you who they really are. Brittany's wedding became a turning point for the whole family. It exposed fault lines that had always been there. Some relationships ended. Others deepened. I don't regret asking for the recordings. I don't regret sharing the truth. I don't regret any of it. Because that night, when Angela asked if I wanted the written statement, I made a choice. Not to be vengeful, but simply to say, my story matters. My truth matters. I matter. And I'd make that choice again. Every single time. The venue manager didn't just play the recording that day. She gave me permission to fight back. To stop being the person everyone expected me to be, quiet, compliant, expendable. I'll always be grateful for that.